Oh, good evening. It comes round again, doesn't it? Does does the live stream? And so, welcome to the live stream on a Thursday. Apparently, I've just been told I'm live on YouTube. Well, there you go, technology. Hope everyone's well. I gave Rocky a chew that I thought that would last him a good 10 minutes. No, scoffed the lot. Just again, he's getting to know now. Thursday nights, he's starting to know the routine, so he's hopefully he'll be quiet. He's just sitting, looking, and watching. Anyway, that's less of the waffle for now. So what's been happening on the channel this week? We've had a huge week, our best in a little while. The channel got 1,000. Oh, good evening, Mick. The channel has had 1,880 views in the last 7 days. That's the most we've had for a little while. And 10 new subscribers this week, which is fantastic news. Busy week. So what you've been watching? Now, coming in at number 3 this week. This is one from June of last year. Big Country's album rankings. 93 people this week have watched it. Apparently, I got me ranking the wrong way round, but there you go. Not the first person to say I got the Big Country album ranking the wrong way. But as I keep telling people, we all hear things differently. Coming in at number 2 this week. Now, this is the little Be Kind to each other video that I did last Saturday. 156 people have watched it, so that's not too bad. Just telling everyone to be nice to each other and respect each other's feelings. And coming in at number 1 for last week is the show that I did with Richard on Saturday, the number 1s from the 1980s. 214 people have watched that this week. Pretty good. And we're going to do the 90s at some stage. Big challenge, struggling, but we're going to do it. Okay, what's been the movers and shakers in the last 28 days? Well, 6,192 views and 28 new subscribers in the month. So if you're one of them new subscribers, welcome. So what you've been watching in the last 28 days? Well, coming in at number 3, it was the unveiling of the Slade's All the World's a Stage CD set. 198. Coming in at number 2, as he's just come into the chat, top 10 1980s with Richard's 214. But still at number 1, the most watched in the last 28 days is our 1970s top 10s at 243. Ignore him. So what's the stats the whole time we've been on YouTube? We've now gone up to 107,839 views. And Dave has split it down. 91,143 videos that I've put out. And views for the live stream, all the live streams, is up to 16,641. I can't believe that. That all them people have watched the live streams as going on. Everything. Evening, Charles. Evening, Ralph. Good evening, everybody. There, I've covered everyone. No changes in the order of most watched. Jeff Rotel, Derek Riggs, artwork, and status quo. Last week's Battle of the Debuts. A shock result. It was between Bread and the Eagles. and Bread won marginally. There wasn't much in it, but Bread actually won. So, oh, evening, Joe. Hope you're well. So yeah, Bread, that was a shock. I thought the Eagles would win that one, but they didn't. Today's up already. So we've got Def Leppard on Through the Night and Lightning to the Nations Diamond Head, two bands from the new wave of British heavy metal. And I was a bit shocked. It's about 42 years ago, which is a big shock because it makes me feel old. So that's today's poll. And when I looked on the community, Def Leppard was winning, but not by much. So that's what's happened last week. What have I got for you next week? A good fun-packed week for us. Starting on Sunday. It's only one thing because it's yours truly's birthday on Sunday. So I'm going to put up my top 10 for the day I was born. I haven't advertised that one. I can't really promote my own birthday. Good evening, Stephen. So I'll be putting up that on sometime on Sunday. But Monday, we're back to album ranking, and we're doing Rick Wakeman's 1980s, part 2 of the Rick Wakeman story. Right mixed bag in that one. Looking forward to that one. Classic album next week. We're going to do a bit of Jane's Addiction and the Ritual de la Habitual album. One of their finest albums. Tuesday's album ranking is Boston, the band that's been around forever and only got 6 albums. But that's Tom Scholz for you. He's a perfectionist. So I'll be looking at their albums. Retro ranking next week. Continuing on from the Fleetwood Mac marathon, I'm going to look at their non-album songs because there's some songs there that we cannot talk about. We need to talk about as it's Fleetwood Mac. Marathon Wednesday next week. We're going to be doing this. A viewer's request. I can't remember who asked for it. It's Journey, including the new album that I viewed. And then Thursday, Battle of the Debuts. We are going into the 80s next week to 2 bands that had 2 people in each, one being Yazoo, the other being Blancmange. Who remembers Blancmange? Our album artwork next week, bit of prog for us, bit of the King Crimson album artwork. We'll be doing all their album covers. I'll be back here next week. I think it's still British summertime next week. Then we've got live album next Friday. One of the first super groups, bit of Cream album ranking, because next Friday is a super Friday. We've got a new album review. We'll be looking at the new Queensryche album, Digital Noise Alliance. And also I'll be doing a full review of Slade's All the World's a Stage. I have listened to it all the way through, and it is brilliant. That's all I'll say. So that's what's happening next week. And also next week, I think on Thursday, we have got another birthday top 10, and that's for Joe. So Joe's got a top 10 birthday top 10 on Wednesday. So don't forget to check into that one, Joe. See what was your charts when you were born. Some really interesting tracks in your top 10. I'm looking forward to that. Let's have a dive into the laundry list and work in progress. Well, Simple Minds, I'm still waiting for the new album to come out, so that's still hovering. Shawaddy Waddy now, I've got down to 10 of the 12. Should finish that off this week. I've listened to one of John Kay and Steppenwolf this week. I'm slowly but surely getting through Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. I'm up to 9 out of 17. Helios Creed, Peter asked me in the week how I'm doing. Well, I'm up to 12 of 23 now. The Straubs, I've done 9 of the 24, so I'm gradually getting through them. Gordon Giltrap, I've listened to them all except the new one that's due out, I think, in November. So we'll do a full album ranking probably now. Probably in the new year now. Give me a chance to listen to it. Stereophonics, we're up to 10 of the 12. Halloween, 9 of the 16. Susie and the Banshees, 4 of 11. Listen to a bit of Susie this week. Charlie Watts, just 1 of the 11 of his live jazz albums. Vixen, I've done 1 of 4. And we've got a new one in the bag, the Moody Blues that someone's asked for, and we've listened to 3 of 16. Well, technically I've listened to 2, but I'll put 1 straight at the top because I don't need to listen to it. Bands that are completed and are ready to go whenever we get round to them. Chicago, Dead Can Dance, Palace and Roger Walters. That's all the news. And now, little drum roll without knocking the camera down. Wally of the week. And Wally of the week this week is me. Because last Thursday, I did 2 silly things. First thing, I didn't give enough room for Rocky to get through, and he collapsed the album covers behind me. Oh, the Urbane are completed as well. Yeah, thanks, Dave. And then the second one is for putting the light in the wrong place. So my poorly eye dried up. Hence why we had to abruptly stop. Very silly thing to do. Having the light shining in right in my eye. What a wally I was. And I wondered why that my right eye started drying up and not moving. What a wally. You see, even I get a wally of the week, and I don't care. That was a stupid boy, as Captain Mountain used to say. So that's all the usual thing. Let's just clear up here without not trying to dismantle everything and cut everything off. Hey, I did it right this time. So let's have a look and see what you're saying while I've been going on. I think everyone's Vampire Weekend. Oh, that's a different one. I think I've only heard a couple of their bits. Yeah. How you doing on the 90s, Richard? I've managed to find 5 I like. Yes. And Richard, has Alan watched his Bucks Fizz? Now, I didn't think that would get lots of views. Again, I'm absolutely gobsmacked because at the moment it's had more views than Rick Wakeman. So I was totally gobsmacked that lots of people like the Bucks Fizz. Yeah, Charles, you're right. That we're not going any further that way. We may dive back the other way. Do the other 2 decades, but we're not going past the 90s because I'm struggling. Because I've been doing some research this week and I've been listening to a lot of stuff, and oh God, there was some crap. But by that time, I'd really lost interest in modern music, to be quite honest. It was just a load of old rubbish. Right, let's have a sip of tonight's drink. Now, this is I think this is a Cornish pale ale called Levitate from the No Bars Brewery. It's quite nice. Oh, well done, mate. You found one. Good grief. There was the odd one or two over here in the UK for that decade, but a lot of it is absolute shocking. But there's some good stuff in the 90s. Now, in Joe's top 10, there are some really good records, which I was flabbergasted at. There's some really naff ones as well. But I'm not, without giving too much away, I think the best one will be Charles's. Because there were some belters in yours, Charles, and there's a couple in there that I think you will be thrilled about. That was in the top 10 on the day you were born. Yeah, talking of birthday ones, I've actually been looking at Mix. Wow, Richard, you're doing better than me. I'll make a concerted effort this week to find 5 more. I might struggle for some bubbling unders, I think, but I think I can find 5. Anyway, going back to Mick, I've started to look at your top 10, and because I found a site that does the American Billboard, and well, Dave did. Yeah, you've got some good ones as well. I've sort of looked at it and wrote them down. I've put them in my Spotify playlist ready, but I haven't listened to them yet. So I've been compiling other retro rankings. As well. I've done the Henry Mancini one. Yeah, good albums, Joe, they were. Very good albums. Which I've ranked both artists, of course. I'm going to be doing something on Bowie. I don't know what, though. I want to do a retro ranking because I want to save David Bowie and do an album ranking. "1965, Ralph. Would you like me to do your birthday, or have you had your birthday, or when's your birthday, and we'll do yours? Because I like to do my subscribers' birthdays." Bowie on BBC 4 tomorrow. Okay, great. Found something to watch tomorrow night. 30th of October, 1965. Right, Dave, could you make a note of that? Because I haven't got any pen or paper. So I can do, that's 30th of October, 1965 for Ralph. Lots of Octobers, yes. We have got lots of Octobers. Myself, Joe, you, now Ralph. Top 10. I think I'd have to do a 20 for David Bowie, to be quite honest. I like so many of Bowie's songs. As we said the other day, he was the man of reinvention, and he always come up with some great tracks. Right, there you go. Consider you getting a birthday present for me of your top 10, Ralph. On your birthday. So that's Sunday. Wow, I've got to do some work on a Sunday. Echo Belly and the Damned. I've seen the Damned. They were one of the first bands that come to our new Derngate theatre. And the people in there expected Damned fans to sit down through the whole of the performance. That didn't happen. The security got a little bit panicky because everyone wanted to leap around and have a good time. But they expect us to sit there prim proper and just sit there and clap our hands when necessary. Hold on, folks. Yes, what do you want? What? It's all right. He'd finished drinking his water and he wanted some more water. That was all. He drinks like a fish at night. Yes, I was talking about retro ranking. So yeah, I'll have to do a top 20 on David Bowie because I'll struggle to do a top 10. What else have I got on the list? I've thrown in a few of bands we've actually ranked the albums because I want to talk about some of their some singles or some of my favourite songs. So I'm gonna do a Deep Purple one, and I'm going to do a Rush one. And I'm going to do one with that young lady that's behind me. Ooh. I don't know if I've done her. I can't remember if I've done her or not. I know I've done her albums. But I can't remember if I've done singles. I'll have to look. But if I haven't, I will do one of the young lady behind me. It's easy what this week's theme is on there. It was all to do with Saturday. They're all albums that come out in the 80s. Fine albums as well, except the one down here with the space shuttle on. Didn't think much of that one, but I like the cover. That's a good idea, Joe. Top 10 Rush songs. Well, pencil that one in then, Joe. I'll do that one with you. That'll be a good show. It'll be interesting which year. We'll see which era of Rush we both refer. Yeah, email me, Joe, with some dates, and we'll get something done. Because to be quite honest, I roughly know what my top 10 Rush songs are without looking. I have come up with another one for us to do, Joe. As me and you are both really into Mr. Oldfield, I think we will have to do. We must do a collaboration to do with Mike Oldfield at some stage. Because that when we did our long prog, I think we could have spent the whole of the night talking about Mike Oldfield. I really enjoyed that one, Joe. I hadn't watched it all the way through properly. So the other night I sat down and watched it completely from start to finish. And I even enjoyed it. The funny thing was it confused our Rocky. I don't know if you could see it on telly or not, but he was looking up at the screen, looking at me, looking at the screen, looking at me. That's a brilliant idea, Richard. Wow, a three-way one. Okay, we'll we'll try and fit that in some stage. But yeah, that'll be a brilliant one to do together. Because we're all be an excellent show, that will. We'll have to book about 3 sessions, I think. Or do what they do, what Sea of Tranquility, just do top 5, because if we do a top 10, we'll be there forever. Keep rotating. Oi, will you shut up? It's quite funny. He's not looking this way at me. He's looking out towards the front door and just barking. I think he's having a protest. Oi, mister. Oi, I'm here. No, I think he's took umbrage with me. When he turns his head on me, I know he's taken umbrage on me. I've got a fun packed weekend this weekend, as it's yours truly birthday. Going to dinner at my good friend Gary's with Lee on Saturday. Looking forward to that. If you're watching, Gary. And then Sunday, I'm going to have Sunday lunch with Lee and a few beers, I think. Because it's my birthday. But I'll make sure I'll do the my top 10 before I do anything. Right, I'm going to go and see what do you want now? Wait, come here. Right, shall we come and say hello to everybody? There we go. Say hello to everybody. He's quiet now. I give in to him too much, I think, don't I? Hey? Oh, I know. Camera shy. You see, is Dave setting the theme for the show? That's a pretty good idea, actually. Are you chaps all right with that? We picked one album from the 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties and 10s. I know that's a show that they did on SOT many months ago when they did their favourite bands in that a month thing, but I don't care. I'm sure they'll be all right with that. Nicking that idea. Oh. He's quiet now. It's amazing. All he wanted me is to give him some fuss. I'm sure Dave will tell us how many albums he did in the 10s. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see which one we go for. It'll be interesting what my... Well, I'm going to really think that. Because there's some great albums from all the decades. So I'm looking forward to that. Man on the Rocks versus The Return to Almadorn. Oh, that'll be interesting. I have to give them two a listen. How many did he do in the noughties? So I'm guessing out. Yes, I don't know where you've been. Where you been to get that on your fur? 4 albums, right? Plenty to choose from. Yeah, that should be good fun. Looking forward to that. Gives me an excuse to listen to some more Mike Oldfield, just to make sure I go. I think I'm off know what my 70s will be, but it'll be the 80s and the 90s may struggle with. Oh, I don't think everyone wants to see your teeth, Rocky, and you yawning. What? What are you trying to do now? What are you trying to do? What? Go on then. Down you go. Oh, there you go. Go and sit down then. Go and sit down. You've got yourself all unbothered again, haven't you? Oh, good grief. You see, I could cheat and just go through my album ranking, but I'm not. I'm going to do it fresh. Because, might do it as a fresh one. Are we just talking studio albums here, or can we... or can we just... I don't know. Are we just going for any sort of studio sort of thing? Because I've got a rough idea what I'm going to do for my 70s. Just studio albums, right? I might actually be able to show them as well. Yeah, well, I could show you the 70s and 80s because I don't think I've got any from the 90s. I stopped buying them by then and I'm on CD. So best Irish bands. You lucky, lucky, lucky boy. I've never seen Mr. Oldfield live. I think the best performance I've seen on video is the one he did at, I think it was Edinburgh Castle when he did Tubular Bells 2. I've got the DVD to Exposed. That's pretty good. There's a great bit on there. There's this bloke at the front really going mental. Dressed for the time. I mean, the Incantations live's pretty impressive. That's a great little video, that is. Get me thinking cap on that one. Finish me. So we have got some. So we have got some good specials coming up on the channel. Brian Blessed as the Caveman, excellent. I've got some of the orchestral. Good grief. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, I've got some of the orchestral stuff. I've got the orchestral Tubular Bells. Obviously, I've got Music of the Spheres, which is a brilliant album. And I've got a orchestral version of Burgess Ridge as well. Which I might do a show on some of the... oddities. Someone said when you're going to do some oddities of Mike Oldfield, so I might do some oddities of Mike Oldfield at some stage. So some of the oddities are really, I have got some real oddities from Mike Oldfield, I can tell you. I used to work with a guy that was really into him, and he just gave me a CD of MP3 files of tons of Mike Oldfield, including a version of the Hallelujah chorus that Mike Oldfield done. Don't know if any of you guys have actually heard it. It's quite good. If it's an official studio album, in my books, yes. Because I ranked it when I did the album ranking of them. Yeah, if it's just if it's in the official discography studio album, it counts. And you could say it about a certain box set as well. Yeah. So guys, if you haven't got any that you haven't got that you really like, I'll do the pictures as usual, because mine will be a mixture of pictures and real McCoy. That means I've got to go through my box. Oh, Phil, which one? I've only got one. That's the Incantations, which is very rare. It's as rare as Rocking Horse Doo-Doo. And I haven't got an official version. It's a version that someone did for me. Done on professional equipment, though. It's been interesting. Because I remember when I did the live album ranking of most of that was bootlegs and unofficial recordings and things. So I've got a really good version of Tubular Bells 2 live. Don't know where it was done, and I've also got one where it's got stuff from Tubular Bells 3 and the Millennium Bell live. No, it's called Incant. Yeah, okay, Richard. We'll put that one in as well. I'm actually I'm gonna give that a different name, because I'll give that a name, because I mean I'll think of a new name for that show, because if it goes well, I'm sure it won't be the only one we'll ever do as the trio. I don't think I can cope with more than 3 people on the screen at Zoom at the moment. I mean, I'm doing quite well to actually get 2 of us on there after the hiccups. But yeah, he'll soon shut up, because he'll know that I'm ignoring him. He's doing it for attention tonight. So there's some nice things to look forward to. Lots of collaborations. I've been going through the list of bands that I'm going to add to the work in progress because we're starting to run down. So I've added some when I was listening to some music. This isn't. So I've added Cats in Space to the list. The Cult, Bob Catley's solo. Someone asked for Nirvana, so I will do them. I've added The Who, REM. That's about it. So I'll be starting listening to them because I'm really running out of stuff to listen to, except for the long ones. So plus I'm listening to all the live stuff we're doing, and that's got a nice list now. There's plenty of stuff in there for the news shows. Look out in November. There'll be a few little tasters and spoilers of what we're going to be doing. Yeah, good night, Richard. I'll email you probably Monday. Give you an email Monday. I shall email you as well, Joe, on Monday as well. Which will be interesting. Yeah, I've been sorting out some. I've got. Who else got moved? Right. Back to the Red Book. The Who, REM, Bob Catley, The Cult, and Nirvana. Yeah, I'm going to do Cats in Space. I love Cats in Space. I only discovered them about a year ago, and I love them. Oh, it's really. Oi! Thank you. He does it. He's a little bugger at times. He does it all on purpose. Yes. I'm not paying any attention to him. Doesn't matter that I spent a good hour before I started this. Yes, have a look at how are we doing with the poll. Oh, difference of opinion in here. We've got 60% to Diamond Head and 40% to On Through the Night. Interesting. I'm sure if Dave goes onto the community, look at what the voting's doing in there and add it together, because he's clever like that. Because I don't know if it'll be neck and neck now with your votes and what people have done in the community. That community thing is quite amazing because there's things like the other week everyone was watching Coverdale and Page, and this week everyone's been watching Big Country. And as I said when I was telling you about the stats, I got told off again for getting my Big Country list the wrong way round. How many people have told me I've got it the wrong way round? People don't understand that I love all the thing is I love all the Big Country albums. But when I listened to them to rank them, the first ones against the newer ones, they sound a little bit dated now. And I just changed my sort of opinion on things. So I don't know. I wonder what happens. I bet it won't let me vote on this. No, I'm not allowed to vote. That's terrible, that is. Not allowed to vote. I think I said Def Leppard. As much as I love both. I remember when they come out. I mean, as I said today, the On Through the Night, Def Leppard 57 to 43. So there's not much in it. Not much in it. I can't believe Bread won last week, though. I'll confess, deep down, I wanted Bread to win. Because I listened to them again. And when I listened to them again, I had more fun listening to the original Bread album than I did. Hysteria. Now, a story of Hysteria. When it came out, I thought it was fantastic. Now, I think it. Let's see if I can grab the book. I think I've still got the album ranking in here. I think it was quite low. I like the deep cut tracks on it still, things like Gods of War, but the singles I just can't stand. I mean, it was a great show, and I think Hysteria is a better live. I love the full live version of it. Absolutely brilliant live, because it hasn't got Mutt Lange's crap all over it. There we go. So this is how I went. I'll go from the bottom. The 11 albums. Well, I've got somewhere where would I put the new album? So I went Slang, Euphoria, X, yeah, Hysteria, Def Leppard. Then I would put the Halo one in there after Def Leppard, Adrenalize, songs from the Sparkle lines, Paramania, On Through the Night, and High and Dry. That's how I ranked it. And looking at that, I don't think would go any different, to be quite honest. Yeah, I mean, I never saw. I've seen Def Leppard three or four times. Oh, that is so. I hate that. Oh, look it, yeah. As you will find when I do the producers, John Mutt Lange is not one of my favourite producers. Hysteria was overproduced. If you want to listen to a proper version of Hysteria, listen to the live version, Viva Las Vegas or whatever it's called. Because they do the whole of Hysteria on there, and even the cheesy songs sound better live. And like Adrenalize, there's something on there. But the new album, I think it actually sounds a bit half decent. But like most bands, there are some absolute rubbish in there. Def Leppard are a band that I do prefer their earlier stuff to their older stuff. Their older stuff's better, I mean. I mean, if you watched them on Sea of Tranquility, they did the classic albums from. They did Paramania and Hysteria, and they're the same. I mean, like Run Right, you know, She's So Dangerous, and Are You Excitable? Yeah, very cheesy. I don't know what my favourite track. One of my favourite tracks actually off that first album. That's Wasted. I love Wasted. But my favourite album is High and Dry. Always has been. First Strikes. No, that is something I've never heard. I think the worst track, I can tell you the worst track that's on Def Leppard single is the B-side of Rocket. I think it's a version of Release Me. It's absolutely shite. I might do a retro ranking of the worst songs covered by rock bands. Got a list full in there that sound terrible. Yeah, I might do that as a bit of fun. The 10 worst songs covered. Yes, I am. Why not? I've got the list down to about 50 now. It's good. That'll be a tough one, to be quite honest, because most hated songs that get played at Christmas. Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll do that. The last retro ranking before Christmas. The most hated songs that get played. I know you know what mine will be, and I think it's the same one as you, Dave. I don't want to hear that song ever again at Christmas. There's certain songs, even ones I like. Hello, Trouble's back. Can everyone see him hovering in the corner there? He's got himself in. Look, go and get a drink. Yeah, they're watching you, Rock. Everyone's watching you. Go and get a drink. Go and get a drink. Sitting there panting. Go and get a drink. Hopefully he'll be quiet now. I think he's got to the gist where he says, well, Dad's not going to bother with me. Thing is, when I finish, I'll go and fuss him and he'll turn his nose up at me. Turns his head away. Yeah, I've got some stuff lined up for Christmas and that in-between bit. Yes, he did, and he demolished it. I brought him a really thick chew and he demolished it in about 3 minutes. The other day when I went out, where his treats are kept, the door wasn't quite shut. I mean, he can't get at it, but he'd opened up the door completely and things had been falling on the floor where he was trying to get at the bag with all his treats are kept in. Where's he going? Off he toddles. No, we're going to have a sit down. Yeah, now for a dog that's 12 years old, you thought it'd be well sit down and chill. No. A meat-infused rubber bone. Yeah, I usually get him. I'll get him like a selection box of his favourite treats. I'm gonna try and get one of them things where you put a treat in and he has to undo it to get at it, and I'll keep him quiet. I think he's realised. I think he's worn himself out, so he'll have a sleep now. Oh, it looks like another vote for 60-40 to Diamond Head. So he's just randomly barking now. And he jumps as well. Oi, I can see you. He's quite amusing at times. Off he goes. Yeah, it usually goes up over the weekend, the community votes. Well, I'm going to be up early on Saturday. I shall be watching the England-Fiji ladies rugby this weekend. Hoping that England are actually going to win the World Cup now. It's the only World Cup they will win. Oh, so, what else have we got? Have I missed anything? Yeah, well, going back to what Joe was saying about ELO, we can do that one next year. So I know you're a big ELO fan. I've seen two incarnations of ELO. I've seen the ELO with Jeff Lynne and Richard Tandy in 1986 at Birmingham at the Heartbeat concert, where also I saw the Moody Blues and the Move and Roy Wood on his own, Robert Plant, the Applejacks, the Rockin' Berries, all compared by Jasper Carrot. Pretty good. That was a great show. And I saw the Moody Blues, they headlined it, and they were absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I do watch it, Mick, and Dave and I have actually been. We went to Wembley to see our team. Well, it was the team that Dave supported until someone left it. But it was a great honour. We actually saw our favourite player play at Wembley, didn't we, Dave? We saw the New England Patriots. That's a story. I got into. Well, I didn't get into trouble, but Dave and I went to Boston just after they'd won the Super Bowl, and everywhere they were going about the world champions, it was like the England rugby team had won the World Cup in 2003, and because we went in the winter, I got my world champions official hat on, and I was at the banners and about world champions, and me being me back in the day, I went, world champions? They didn't play anyone outside the United States. How can they be world champions? And I think there was a lynch mob for me. Yeah, I don't know why they call it the World Series. Only playing teams in America. It's okay, Canada. World Series. National Championships. Yeah, and I've seen NFL in UK, but I have actually seen baseball in America when I was in. I went to see. Well, we had a choice. We could have either gone and saw the Cubs or the Sox. Now, the Cubs were on a road trip, so we went to see Chicago White Sox. And they played. Oh, God, who did they play? Detroit Tigers, I think. And we saw something twice that people had not seen for years. All the bases loaded and the home run was hit. I don't know what it's called, Mick, but it happened twice in the game. He's at the door now, so demanding boy, come in. That's it, a Grand Slam. There you go. Yeah, saw it twice. Because the people who were sitting next to us at that game were quite flabbergasted when we knew the rules of baseball. But going back to the NFL, I've been to 2 games. I went to the very first, I think it was the very first NFL game at Wembley. It was New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins. And I think have I been 3? I can't remember. I've been 3 times. I can't remember. I think it's twice. Yes, I don't. I don't know, Charles. I mean, but if you've looked, most of the teams in Europe have had a real bad run. Unless they were saving them in that stupid League of Nations, which I think is a pointless competition myself. You know, no one's going to play their guts out for that in the World Cup year. Yeah. I've heard one track, Stephen. I've heard one track. But I have spoken to someone that's went to see them. We were talking on Twitter about it the other day, and that's Stephen Reed. And he said in a reply to me that he was a bit apprehensive with the news with Damien Wilson singing now. And he says they're great and they sound great and he's a great fit. So if Stephen Reed thinks that it's good and he's heard some of the tracks, it's going to be good. I think it's out on the 21st. You have it already. How come? It's not fair. I think tomorrow I'm doing Crazy Times, the new Circle album, Sammy Hagar, Dick Johnson, Jason Bonham and Michael Anthony. Looking forward to listening because the new Queensryche's out tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Got quite a few good albums coming out again. Hence why I've doubled up. The other album I have listened to, which I will do a review on, and that's the new Roger Taylor live album, the Outsider Tour. So why not in their own country? That's a bit rude. I know it should have come out. They've postponed the date for this album about 3 times. But anyway, I'm gonna listen to the new Roger Taylor. Go and check it out, folks, because he does some Queen songs that he sang on the albums that Queen never did live. And he does quite a few songs from the new album, some of his from his 80s albums. It's a damn good album. I'm looking forward to reviewing that one. I had some nice messages from Echo 7, and thank you guys for watching it. They really appreciate everyone watching, and I am not surprised. I haven't heard a bad Arena album yet. I don't think I will. Yeah, going back to Echo 7. Yeah, they give me a shout out on their channel and everything, so everything's going good for them. They released their new video today. Blame. It's on YouTube, so just put in Echo 7 Blame and you'll get to to look at the new video. Go and check them out. They are really, really good if you've not heard them. If you like a bit of alternative rock, pretty good. Hopefully they'll come to the UK one day. Be nice if they did. I'll check that out, Stephen, tomorrow on Prog Archives if it's working. Today it kept fouling up. I don't know what's wrong with it, because I was doing my script for the Wakeman 1990s, which is horrendous, as you will find out in a couple of weeks' time. The 90s, it was I'll not go into too much, but the 90s he did a lot of reissues. So when you see how many albums, when I say there's 34 albums, we're not going through them all, because a lot of it's not much different. I should just tell you the differences, but yeah. Well, then we've got, after Rick Wakeman, we've got Gong. I've listened to all the main stuff. There's a few variations of Gong I haven't listened to. They only released the one album, but I need a rest from Gong. They were sort of they're hard to listen to, a bit like Nick Cave. Yeah, someone made a reply today on the Captain Beefheart artwork, because the worst, I did it from best to worst. The worst cover is Trout Mask, and I still said I can't get into the album. And someone put, yeah, you need to listen to it 12 times, at least 12 times to get into it. And I put, I've listened to it 6 times, and that was enough. It's one album that I'll never, ever, ever listen to again, I don't think, because it was just awful. Awful album, awful cover. But I had fun doing the King Crimson we're doing next week. Some of their covers are good. No, Joe, I think I like about 6 albums. The rest of it is just tripe. I know there's some, I was asked to do them, but I just couldn't get on with them at all. But I do respect the guy for what he did. And he made money out of it, but it's just not for me. I'm not a great lover of Captain Beefheart. Sorry whoever asked for it, but it's one band. It was it was a fantastic journey. And I did like some of the albums are good. Like I said, there's about 6. Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. He had a talent. And if you listen to his lyrics, you see, on Spotify, sometimes if I'm having difficulty getting into a song, I put it on Spotify and put the little microphone when all the lyrics come up. And he wrote some interesting lyrics. Some very interesting lyrics. That's what I do sometimes. If I'm struggling on a band or an actual song, I put up the lyrics and sit and read them, see if I can make any head of the tail. But a lot of the time with Captain Beefheart, I couldn't. But anyhow, he has a talent. The thing is, I like Frank Zappa's stuff because I thought his stuff was better. It's much better than Captain Beefheart. Before anyone says is Frank Zappa in the laundry list? He's not in the laundry list, but he's someone that will be done at some stage. How many hours a day? Cool. Depends what I'm doing, really. All depends on what I'm doing, because if I'm not recording, I am listening. I mean, I can put an album on when I'm doing. I mean, Saturday mornings I do the housework. I always listen to stuff then. I listen. I would say I listen to about 3 or 4 hours a day. Mixed in with my own stuff. I've always listened to music anyway. I mean, my telly doesn't go on till probably 6 o'clock at night. It's the first time I put the telly on. I've always got music on. 62 minutes, brilliant. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's why it takes me so long to listen to some albums, because there's days where I'll just have a day of listening to one band, or I mean some albums like, okay, let's take the Fleetwood Mac I did on Wednesday. I didn't have to listen to Rumours. I didn't have to listen to Fleetwood Mac, or the White Album that people call it, or Tango in the Night, because I know them albums and I love them albums. That went in the top 1, 2, 3. I've just listened to. I did the Aerosmith. Bonnie Tyler and Dal. You see, Nick Cave, I am struggling with him, but again, when I've put the lyrics on, they're great. I reckon Nick Cave's more of a poet with a bit of music. Venom, I haven't done Venom Inc. yet. Yes, we don't talk about her. I don't know what all the hype is about Adele, because I think she writes dreary songs. She's full of herself. He's gone to sleep. Only 2 albums. I'll give him a ding dong then. I mean, because Venom was out of my comfort zone, but I actually enjoyed listening to them. I mean, a lot of the stuff you guys that I go, oh, I don't know about this, and I actually end up liking them. I mean, another band I did struggle with some of the album was Chrome, but I'll tell you now, listening to the Helios Creed solo stuff, there's some really good tracks on these albums I'm listening to. Very intricate, some great guitar work. I've really enjoyed the Helios Creed albums more than the Chrome albums. I wonder if it'll be the same when I get onto Damien Edge. But I will definitely check them 2 out, Stephen. Because I do the odd just with 2 album reviews. I'm doing one in a couple of weeks' time. Something that one of you guys asked for. Going to probably find in November's schedule, as I've got lots hanging around that are in this book that haven't been done. So there's going to be 1 or 2 bits I just want to clear up at the beginning of this book. So I went through it today and I found the stuff that I've had done for months, well, we haven't done. So there's 1 or 2 bits that are going to fly out on this in November, which I shall start looking at next week. Start looking at November's schedule. These all go, you know. All go on the channel, even when I'm not doing it. Yeah, Psychedelic Furs are completed. They'll be coming up. And The Cure, yeah, they're ready to go. They're ready to go. See, when I put the schedules together, I try and keep it balanced each week. So I have long ones, short ones, medium ones, and it always depends on what the marathon week is. If you've got a really huge marathon, say 20 odd albums, you find the other album rankings are the shorter ones. I've loved doing Government Mule, Ralph. Absolutely loved it. To the fact that I've now following Government Mule on Spotify, and they are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Really love listening to them. But then again, I did like the Allman Brothers band, so it's pretty obvious. No, Government Mule, looking forward to ranking them. Don't know when that'll be, Ralph, but it will come up. There's so much in the completed list to come up. There's lots. It's just finding the balance so I don't really overdo it, because when I do put them together, when I prep everything, I don't want to be really working my guts out and spending hours and hours and hours on the computer, because it's not good for my eyes. But that's how I sit there and really think about when I put things together. So that's why sometimes you think, oh, has he forgotten? I never forget anything. That's why Dave gets more involved now, because he's the person that really knows what's going on. To be quite honest, he's the one that feeds me all the information and tells me what's in there. He sends me updated lists 2 or 3 times a week, so I know what's going on. He needs a pay rise. When I get a pay rise, he'll get one. So without knowing it, Dave's as a big part of this channel as I am. Now he's see, there you go. He knows exactly what we've done and we haven't done. Yeah, it is. This is too much for one. That's why Dave does all the back room. You see, here we go. A story, yeah, probably will be. We'll have to, but we're all right for stories at the moment. We'll tell you what is coming up in the stories, which I get a lot of good response for, and I think people enjoy that we go through an artist's catalogue. That's what I said. We're halfway through Rick Wakeman. Then we've got Gong. And then we're going to look at the career of John Mitchell. That includes the Urban, iRobot, and God knows what else. Okay, we've done the Arena albums, but I shall be ranking the Arena live albums in that. And I shall be doing the EPs of Arena. It's a little thing to wind it up. Yeah, that's what we do. Ladies' Day, Stephen. That's what Ladies' Day is all about. But we also do female. We've done Heart, because that's the thing, and Susie and the Banshees I'm listening to at the moment. So Susie will be coming up. Got an interesting Ladies' Day for the end of October. because it's not rock really. I don't know how you would describe one of the bands. I don't know. I don't know how to describe them, but they are very good. I mean, we've got a huge one to do on everything associated with the Runaways. Which I'm going to do. Probably do the Runaways and everything associated it as a story, and have a story of a female artist. So, because the Runaways, we've got Lita Ford, we've got Joan Jett. There's lots there. There'll be a little mini series of the Runaways and all the offshoots of the Runaways. You see, I still haven't done a full ranking on the Go-Go's. I've seen Lita Ford as well, Stephen. She supported Bon Jovi on the New Jersey's tour, and that's the first gig that we took. One of my friend's brothers. Now, he was very young, and I think it was his second gig. The first gig we took him to was Iron Maiden on the Seventh Son tour, and we took him to see Bon Jovi, and Lita Ford come out, and she didn't have much on. I've actually got that. I love that album, Lita. It's the one that she did that duo with Ozzy on. Excellent. Yeah, I like Lita Ford. Didn't she go out with Tony Iommi for a while? Lita Ford. Yeah, I've got a few Lita Ford albums. Like a Canadian rock singer that I like, Lee Aaron. Like her as well. Yeah, I think they're in the laundry list, Wishbone Ash, because I was watching Sea of Tranquility today. They're doing Pete's doing a monthly thing on guitar duos, and it was Wishbone Ash today. Another band that I've enjoyed listening to, and that's Foghat. Absolutely brilliant. Like I've enjoyed listening to Saracen. Into the fact that I've now put Saracen is now on that, and Palace. For me to actually put them on to that. That is an excellent one, Joe. Carole King. Add that for stories. That's an excellent choice, Joe. She's a phenomenal artist, Carole King was. Great voice. A great lyricist. Poetry to music, I would say. Yeah, so God, we've been going for 1 hour and 25. Blimey. Oh, 9:30. Well, at least I've turned the lamp round the right way this week. Burke. No, seriously, after I stopped last week, I had to go and wash my eye out because it was so dry and sore. Yes. Total pillow. As you can see, there is a very, very quiet He's very quiet. Lovely. Yeah, I might do a thing on with the stuff who she wrote for. Do the top 10 songs Carole King wrote. See, another person I'm thinking about, which will make you laugh, is Neil Sedaka. Now, Neil Sedaka didn't just write his own stuff. He wrote some great songs for other people. A bit like Graham Gouldman. He wrote loads of great stuff as well. Right, I'm going to close the poll, and tonight's winner in the live stream goes to... Oh, there's murmurings. Goes to Diamond Head. So well done to Diamond Head tonight. There we go. Published. 60-40. Anyway, now Rocky's woken up. I've finished my beer. I'm going to call it a night because I've had a busy day today. I have listened to lots of stuff. I just want to go and chill out for a few hours before I hit shut-eye. I'll be back tomorrow, of course. We've got live album ranking, and it's a band I do love. The Choir Boys, not to everybody's taste, but they are a good rock and roll band. I've seen them a few times, and I've met Spike, and he's a really nice guy. And then we'll be looking at the new album from The Circle, Crazy Times. So once again, thank you for everyone that joins in and comes on a Thursday night. And I will see you all next week. Don't forget to tune in on Sunday for my birthday and see what was number one. You'll have a right old laugh when you see that. So I'll see you all next week here, and I'll see you on the channel. Keep the messages coming, and I will see you all soon. Good night, everybody. See you all next week.